we all live in a digital age now, don't we? Music is downloaded very, very fast and very, very convenient. But what about the traditional CD or even your LP collection? I'm building up my LP collection at the moment, but I was concerned to read that just under 2/3 of Britons reckon CDs will be obsolete by 2015. Surely not. That's a further 32% think a DVD will no longer be around by 2020. Well, the research has been conducted on behalf of myvouchercodes.co.uk, and their spokesperson, Andy Barr, is on the line now. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm not too bad. For me personally, I do, the digital music thing. I download songs. I've just joined the bandwagon to get myself an iPod. But I am a bit sceptical of having my music on a box in the corner of a room. I like the idea of leafing for a CD or an LP collection, but it seems like I may be in the minority here.
Yeah, I think you're very 2000 and late, as a regular pop artist said. I think what people are saying now is you can get so many more CDs on your generic MP3 player that there's no real need for them now, and I think you can carry them around with you. It's absolutely fantastic. So I think what our community's saying at My Voucher Codes is that CDs are going to be dead. Long live the MP3 player.
Which a lot of people are going to be a bit concerned about. I mean, maybe for the younger generation, without iPods and all that, but a lot of older people still like their CD collection and physically leafing through. And with LPs, I don't know, do you have any LPs yourself personally? Any vinyl?
I do. I think, if I vaguely remember, my first album was Shakin' Stevens. I got that for learning to tie my shoelaces, and I then got the Bangles' Different Light on vinyl as well. So I'm old school, bring it on. But I think it is just a matter of ease, isn't it? There's no need to have a towering rack of CDs now. You can carry it around, keep it in your pocket. If you're at your friend's house and your friend's music's shocking, you can politely switch it for yours and you're away.
Yes, you can put we do this a lot, stick the iPod on shuffle, and what really gets me is when people do that and they think, I've got some really cool music on here, and suddenly, that Smurf song that's lingering on your iPod, it comes out on the random shuffle, and you see their face. It's quite funny, actually.
Yeah, that's the scary one, isn't it? When your guilty secret song comes out, Rick Astley or something. It's it's always scary. But I think there's a serious point here. People like Dixon's back in the 90s very famously canned off the VHS video, didn't they? And stopped selling them. And I think what our community's saying is, they don't think that there'll be the platform to be able to play CDs in the long term. So you're probably going to have your generic MP3 player there, and it'll mean that you don't need to have a CD player taking up so much room. I mean, my MP3 mass player is tiny, and just sits in the corner of the kitchen, on top of a book cabinet, and and it can blast through the house.
It is all about space saving, because where people want something that's going to look nice as well as be functional, and also not take up a lot of space. And the new technology, it is pretty space efficient, isn't it?
It is, and I think it just again comes down to ease, and I think we're going to see the same mirrored, I think, slightly later on or slightly further down the line with DVDs as well, with the rise in people being able to download films and keep films on their hard drive. It's there's going to be no need to have these towering boxes of DVDs either, and I think it will come into fruition. And I think that if you think of the rivals to the CD, such as the mini CD that tried to take off in the late 90s,
the mini disc is the one that comes to mind.
That's it. Yeah. We all had those as a passing fad, and I think they kind of didn't really solve the problem. They were just a smaller version of the problem, and now you can get, well, crikey, thousands of albums into one MP3 player in a couple of seconds.
Well, I have to say, the mini disc, I mean, we still use mini discs here at Radio Wey. They're great kind of putting bits and pieces on and audio and stuff like that. But, for sort of personal use, the MP3 player, it was sort of hailed as the next big thing, but then the iPod came along, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And I think,
killed it off.
Well, I was trying not to mention brand names, trying to save you guys. But the iPod came along and it totally revolutionised the market, and I think that is what's killing CDs, and I guess in your profession as well, it's so easy now to use your iPod to do vox pops and things as well. So it kind of does eradicate the need for all of that, and you're away. So even in the professional circuits, CDs are dying out as well.
It's funny actually, with all our music, we've got all our music here at Radio Wey on a big computer system, but we've still got LPs as well. So we do a bit of both, but maybe we need to go and stock up on LP players and CD players and sort of stick them in an attic somewhere just for the future.
Well, I think the only winners are going to be those people that made those machines that convert LPs to CDs. There'll be another one now that they'll manage to convince people they need to convert CDs to MP3s. But yeah, it's a scary world, and I think it is actually this is one of the nice ones. It's going to save a lot of space, and it saves the age-old argument of losing CDs.
It does. There's nothing worse than finding that CD, you want to stick it on your CD player, and you find that it's empty case, or it's got the wrong CD in it, or something like that. So.
Yeah, and it saves those bitter breakups as well, where you argue over the CDs, but maybe that's a whole different discussion.
Yes, just copy your hard drive over and give them a copy of it.
Yeah.
Great.
Nothing says love more than giving someone your hard drive.
No. Okay, that's the 21st century way of looking at things. Now, 42% of people surveyed said they've not bought a CD in the last 6 months, but 63% said that they bought an MP3 file online. 12% said they would never buy a CD again. This is going to be bad news for your high street music stores, isn't it?
It is, and I think as well you've also got to look at the sort of freemium stuff that's out there. So you've got Spotify and also our friend YouTube. So, nowadays when people say, oh, I was just thinking of that song, they dive onto YouTube and play it. They go and find it on Spotify, iTunes, and I'm sure every other music platform that's out there has some sort of radio streaming as well. So, yeah, it is kind of no need for people to go out and buy them now in the high street. And I think that's why more and more stores are cutting the space they allocate to CDs, or instead, looking to sell gift cards for iTunes and the like, and maybe even DVDs as well.
Yeah, they've got to sort of keep up with the times. And for me, actually, what I found a bit bizarre is, I don't know if you've been watching Coronation Street over the last week, all the tram crash and all that's been going on, but they showed the first episode on ITV, I think it was last Monday, the very first episode, 50 years old, and I was sat there watching it on a laptop. On their ITV player. That's just bizarre.
Check you out, you digital hero, you. ITV will love you for that. No, I think that is brilliant, isn't it? The likes of iPlayer and the ITV player, and is it 4 on demand as well? They've really revolutionised how and where we watch telly. So
you don't have to be tied to the schedule anymore. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Likes of iPlayer. How many people, when we're on a train, see someone sat there watching, the EastEnders from a few days ago and Match of the Day and stuff like that? It is really scary. It shows how technology is moving on. Again, it's a great space saver. No more of arguing with relatives about your VHS video and who owns what. So, it's absolutely phenomenal.
I think, we need to move at times, but I think, personally, I like the world we live in at the moment where we can have both. I know that's not going to be around forever, but, LPs and CDs and digital downloads. I can't, there's something about leafing through a record collection for me, personally.
Yeah, I think there's never going to be any question that vinyl is a hugely, as far as I know, a better quality music, because obviously the music's compressed, isn't it, for MP3 players. So yeah, I think that's always going to be a lot better. But so it'll always have a place in our hearts and maybe in the odd museum. But I think as we move into the world of making things as small as possible, it's always going to be the rise of the MP3 and the iPod. It's
going to be interesting to see the technology we're using in 5 or 10 years' time, then, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, that'll be it. We won't know. We'll have stuff in our ears and we'll be away.
Yeah, implants and stuff like that. And okay, we'll go down that road. We can talk about this for hours. We've got to leave it there, though. But good to talk to you. We'll go and try and find a crystal ball. I'll ask Santa for a Christmas ball and see what's a crystal ball. Sorry, see what's going to be around the corner.
Who knows? All right, good to speak to you.
Yeah, lovely to speak to you. Have a nice Christmas, won't you, Andy?
Yeah, and you. Thanks very much, and a Merry Christmas to all of your listeners as well.
Thank you very much. We'll pass those greetings back to you as well. That's Andy Barr from myvouchercodes.co.uk. What do you make of that, then? The idea that the CD won't be around, we'll all be downloading music. We've started now, but the death knell of a CD player and the DVD, it's a bit annoying when you build up your DVD collection and they change the technology over. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I'm not sure. Is it progress? What do you think? Let me know. Radio Wey.